Hey there, and welcome. Right now, there's this huge transformation going on, and it's not happening in some far-off laboratory. It's happening right inside your pocket. We're talking about the digital finance revolution. So over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack the engine behind it all, the fuel that powers it, and really get into why this is set to change, well, pretty much everything. Let's dive in.
So let me ask you something. Just think about it for a second. Was it today? Maybe yesterday? Last week? I mean, for a lot of us, right, tapping a phone or a card to pay for things is just second nature now. But that simple little action, it's really just the tip of a massive technological iceberg that we're about to explore.
And it's really no exaggeration to say it has changed everything. I mean, from how you buy your morning coffee to how a small business gets a loan, technology isn't just some nice-to-have option anymore. It's the very foundation of this new, way more efficient, and way more transparent financial world.
Okay, so what's the engine driving all this change? You've probably heard the buzzword thrown around a lot, but let's actually nail down what it means. We are talking, of course, about fintech. So at its heart, fintech is really just what it sounds like, finance plus technology. But what it's trying to do, well, that's a whole lot bigger. We're talking about the companies that are taking on the big traditional banks. They're using software and data to make stuff like banking, lending, and investing way faster, way more accessible, and honestly, a lot cheaper for you and me. And look at this. The fintech universe is just huge. It's so much more than just the digital wallets you use every day. Think about something like peer-to-peer lending. It completely cuts out the bank as the middleman, right? So it can connect borrowers and lenders directly, which usually means better rates for both. Or what about crowdfunding? It gives creators and entrepreneurs a way to get funding without ever having to step into a traditional investor's office. This is a total restructuring of finance, covering everything from your personal budget app to how you get insurance.
So the big takeaway here is this. It's not just about not using cash anymore. No way. This is a complete redesign of the entire financial system, from the ground up, all built on a foundation of technology.
Okay, but to really get how all of this is even possible, we need to pull back the curtain and look at one of the key technologies making this revolution happen. Let's talk about blockchain.
Now, I know, forget all the hype you've heard for just a minute. Think of it like this. A blockchain is basically a shared, super secure digital notebook, okay? Every single transaction is a new entry, a block. Once that block is added, it gets linked to the one before it, and that creates a chain that's permanent and totally transparent. But here's the magic trick. This notebook is decentralized. What does that mean? It means instead of one bank holding the only copy, the exact same copy is shared and updated across a huge network of computers. And that's what makes it so incredibly secure. Because you can't just secretly go in and change the records. Someone would notice.
And it's not all perfect. This table really shows the trade-offs. On one hand, you have radical transparency. I mean, every transaction is public, and anyone can verify it, which builds a ton of trust. But the flip side of that coin, well, it can create some serious privacy issues. It's the same thing with security and decentralization. Having this distributed network is amazing for security. It's super hard to hack, but it takes a lot of computing power. And having no single point of control is great, but it often means things move a lot slower than a centralized system like your bank. Every pro has its con.
So if you're sitting there thinking, this whole thing sounds really familiar, you are absolutely right. This is the exact technology that powers cryptocurrencies. You've definitely heard of Bitcoin, right? It was the pioneer, using blockchain as this secure public ledger for digital cash. Then Ethereum came along and took it to the next level, using its blockchain not just for money, but for building complex digital contracts and all kinds of applications.
All right, so we've got these cool new companies and this powerful new tech, but so what? What does any of this actually mean for real people, for the economy? Why should we care? Let's get into the real-world impact now and see how it all connects. And this right here is where the revolution really starts to hit home. Digital finance is just smashing down old barriers. It's giving small and medium-sized businesses, which are the backbone of so many economies, new ways to get credit without having to jump through all the hoops of a traditional bank. It's making it cheaper to send money to your family, and by putting all these powerful tools right into our hands, on our phones, it's actually helping people understand their finances better. It's a huge boost for financial literacy. But maybe the single biggest impact of all is this. It's bringing financial services to what's called the unbanked community. Think about this. For billions of people around the world, not having a bank account means you're totally locked out of the formal economy. You can't save your money securely, you can't get a loan, you can't build credit. But now, for the very first time, digital finance lets them do all of that,
with just a basic mobile phone. I mean, this is an absolute game changer for bringing more people into the global economy. But, of course, a change this massive doesn't just happen overnight without a few bumps in the road. The future looks really promising, for sure, but there are some pretty big challenges we have to figure out how to navigate.
And this kind of lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have all the incredible advantages we've been talking about. It's fast, it's efficient, it's transparent, it's a huge step forward. But on the other side, you've got the hurdles, and they're serious. We have to tackle things like low financial literacy because people need to know how to use these tools safely. We've got huge cybersecurity risks, a need for smart regulations that don't stifle innovation, and, of course, making sure the basic internet infrastructure is there for everyone.
But look, the potential is just undeniable. If we can get this right, if we can build this future on 3 solid pillars, great education for all the users, smart regulation for the companies, and reliable infrastructure for everybody, then digital finance stops being just a cool convenience. It becomes a real, powerful pillar for economic growth.
So this really leaves us with one final and I think crucial question. The technology, it's just going to keep getting faster and more powerful. That's a given. But the real test for us isn't going to be about the tech itself. It's going to be about how we use it. How do we build a financial system that's not just smarter, but one that is also fairer and more inclusive for every single person? It's a big question and one worth thinking about. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.